Hey guys, it's Mike the Wrestling Guy Smith. The reason why I'm making a video today, actually, I'm gonna talk about. Actually, I want to talk about John Moxley because since you guys are really into it, so I heard on an interview, like I've basically been hearing on the Wrestling Observer, the Observer, Dave Meltzer, a couple other guys on Wrestle Talk. He likes it. He likes it, and I'll be honest. Like if everybody's wondering like why he's in AEW right now, because he is just like John Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, loves it. He loves the wrestling gear that he has. He loves it because I think WWE, and this is just my thought about it. I think that he was so tired of being in jeans and a t-shirt, and he always fights with or he always fights with jeans and he's shirtless, which I don't mind that. When you're a dude who's probably like 34, 40 or whatever, or he looks like he's 30, like he looks like he's like 27. But the dude looks mad young. And I'll be honest with you guys, like I like John Moxley, Dean Ambrose. I like him. I like him because he's something that the wrestling world doesn't have anymore. He's not a psycho Sid. He doesn't have to be. He's not a copy. Like this dude's an original guy. That's an original dude who doesn't have to be anything. And that's the problem. Like I feel that because John Moxley's there and because he's doing a lot of stuff and because he's building what he builds, and it's kind of hard because really it's kind of hard though. It really is kind of hard because the realization is that he's still there and he's not making any sense. He's not making any sense. He's not pulling the gun. He's really just sitting there like, okay, we're gonna do this, 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 and here we go. And that's my thought because my blood is telling me, and I'm being honest, guys. Sorry, I'll be honest with you guys. I like John Moxley being in AEW because of the fact that he's doing everything he can. He's becoming a star, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think that WWE knows how to handle wrestling talent, but it's kind of hard to be a star in the WWE because there's so many guys that are top guys that are really at the top, and there's some guys that are at the middle. Then there's somebody at the low card. Like look at Alberto Del Rio. Alberto Del Rio went from being the highest paid guy in WWE, from being a guy in NXT, from being a guy who came to NXT like came from NXT and then went from being in the Royal Rumble. And the joke was like they thought he was a joke. He was actually a joke, supposed to be a joke character, but he became a better superstar because of it. Because he was rich, he had wrestling ability that no other person would have, and that's the problem. Like Alberto Del Rio could have been something if his push wasn't so lackluster, and that was the problem because they got him in like mid, I would say like not like mid 2010. I would say like mid 2011, like beginning of 2011, like end of 2010. They got him, and it was like Alberto Del Rio is not a bad guy. It's just him trying to be what he was, which kind of got on my nerves because it was like they booked him to be strong. He won the Royal Rumble. He came in, he won the Royal Rumble, and then he was the first. Like he won the Royal Rumble. Then he went to WrestleMania. Then in SummerSlam 2011, he really tried to screw CM Punk by getting the WWE Championship, and because he pretty much lost, and he lost because Kevin Nash basically power bombed freaking CM Punk through the freaking mat, which really didn't make any sense either. Because like I said, a lot of guys, and I'll be honest, same thing with CM Punk. I'm going to talk about them too, but I'm doing little snippets of this. Like I said, guys, I'm not making this a long video. It's not going to be a long video, I promise. Like I said, I believe in a lot of things, especially John Moxley, because this is what the indie scene doesn't do with the WWE, and the WWE doesn't do this because the indie scene does. And I think that's the reason why they're like polar opposites because you can be a star in indies and actually be a champion and make money, like how Cody Rhodes went from WWE to Impact, and then he went from Impact to Ring of Honor, and then he went from Ring of Honor to New Japan, and New Japan to AEW. And I just think like there really was no way to handle him, and I believe that John Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, him being the way that he is, it's bringing something that wrestling doesn't really have. Because you don't got a guy like Dean. You don't got a guy like Roman. You don't got a guy like Seth. You don't, because it's like all these dudes who are coming in to the independent scene, like MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, Jungle Boy, all these dudes, Damian Priest, everybody who came in, they're not the same. They're not these. They're not the legends. They're not the past, present, and future. They're the actual future of wrestling. Because there's not a lot of guys there. There's barely any of them. And then it's like, you know what? And I'm looking at it, and I like him. Like I said, I like MJF. I do. But he's an asshole. I like him, but he's an asshole. It's because he's trying to be something that he's not. And I'm seeing this, and this is why I don't like watching him on AEW. Because he feels like a Miz. He just feels like a carbon copy of the Miz or EC3 because he's rich. He's just like EC3. He's just like what EC3 and Dixie Carter. The only thing is Dixie Carter is freaking Cody and Brandy. I just don't like him. I don't like how he is. I don't like him. As a wrestler, he's a guy. He's a great wrestler. He's amazing. But as a person, you act like an asshole. Because you think you got money. That's the problem. Freaking John Moxley took the freaking... He freaking dirty... How do you dirty deeds freaking Kenny Omega? You don't dirty deeds Kenny Omega? And he's the freaking pioneer of the independents. Just like Finn Balor, just like AJ Styles and all these dudes. Because that's the problem. There's not a lot of guys there. Because AJ is doing something that nobody actually would do. He went from being in a TNA, went from being a WCW guy, TNA, and TNA just took him and built him up. That's what they wanted to do with him, because he left him, Joe, Chris, Kazarian, Frankie Kazarian, Chris, Christopher Daniels, CD, he left, and then it was Samoa Joe, then Bobby Roode, and that's the thing. I like Bobby Roode being what he was in NXT when he was a fucking heel. When he was good, when he was a heel, I hated him, but I liked him because I was like, oh, it's Bobby Roode, because maybe we can get something from him. But no, this always seems to happen. They never get him. They never do, and they never push him, and that's the problem. And I'm being honest, and I'm using a reference here. Remember when Bobby Roode first premiered on NXT and he took it to another level? And now we're getting guys like, Velveteen Dream, Tyler Breeze, and we're getting we're getting guys in Matt Riddle. Like, that's what we should have got with Bobby when he came. He went from being a United States champion, NXT champion, then he went from being something else. And he could have been more if they just pushed him. And that's the problem now. And I get what Dean was saying. I'm going to take a little piece from what he said. He doesn't like they kept kicking him and making him say these stupid lines. And he made a promo, and he was different. He was a different guy. And they kept putting him. And then when they made him a champion, when they made him a tag champion, he was cool and Shield. And then when they broke him apart and said, you know what, Dean, we're going to make you insane. We're going to see if you can be insane. That's what he did. He went from being insane. And, Dean Ambrose. And Dean Ambrose is not a bad guy. He's not a bad wrestler. His gimmick wasn't bad. It was amazing. I just think him winning the Intercontinental Champion was dumb. It was overplayed. It was stale because we already seen him win the Intercontinental from Kevin Owens. We seen him win the Intercontinental Champion. We seen him be Intercontinental Champion and World Heavyweight Champion and United States and Tag. So it's time for Dean to see where he can go. And AEW was going to push him to that limit, because if we can see him become champion, he's going to freaking ball. He's gonna kill Chris. He's going to make Chris Jericho look like a chump, because he's not like everybody else. That's why Chris left. That's why Chris had that when he talked about Bully Ray. And I'm telling you, like, Chris Jericho is an awesome guy, and he's down to earth, and he was right. The WWE doesn't know what to do with their talent. That's why they're losing Sasha, because they don't know what to do with her. They can't. They can't put her as a tag team. They can't put her as a women's champion, because we've already seen it. So when you have Becky, who's freaking breaking ground again and again and again and again, then where is her? And you got Bayley on SmackDown freaking defying it again, because she couldn't have been a champion on Raw because there was too many. Becky wasn't gonna let that happen. Lacey's trying to be champion, but it can't be done. So if Lacey becomes champion, Becky can go on the title on SmackDown, gain the belt on Raw, and become a champion. Or Ronda could just come back and just do them both. Or Asuka could come in and fight Ronda for the championship. Or Kyrie could be on Raw, be the Raw Women's Champion, Asuka, because they could actually have that fight they never had. And that's what I mean. Like, and I'm being honest, there's not a lot of, and I'll say this, guys, like I said, I'm not making this a long video. This is going to be like a 15-minute video because I'm explaining a lot of things, what I feel. And like I said, you guys like my videos. Thank you for the 100. Thank you for the views, guys. I can't believe I reached 105. Thank you guys so much. I wish I could get subscribers this much, but I guess you guys just like to view the videos, which is cool. I don't need you guys to be subscribers. If you guys like the videos that I put out, because I'm not like everybody else, I'm not. I love it, you know. But thank you. But anyway, like I said, there's so many guys in the world, and this is what I mean with John, with Moxley. I like the fact that he's a bloody star. I love it. I love it with the UK scene. I love that the UK, like, I love British Strong because they're building these guys and they're not pushovers. You get a guy like Kenny and Dean, you get him. It's a freaking nut house. This thing, Double or Nothing, which I thought it was gonna be a lackluster. I thought there's a WCW vibe, but they're killing it though. Because they're getting all these wrestlers that like Glacier. You can't get Glacier. How do you get him? How do you sell him? How do you sell him something? You get Goldust, which he could have been left and went there, but I think I know why he didn't go, because the fame of him being Dustin Rhodes, you know, the original, you know, the natural, like him being Dustin Rhodes, you don't see him. You don't see it. And it's really kind of hard to get people to get it. And that's the problem. And because, you know, Dean Ambrose is this bag of tricks that nobody will understand him. And this is why Renee couldn't leave. Because Renee doesn't want to be on the indie scene. She can't. Her being on the indie scene would have probably wrecked it. And I think the reason why they don't go together, or they don't, you know, they're not in the same house, or they probably divorced or whatever. But I like Dean. I like the fact that he didn't give, like, listen, he's not a proper, he doesn't have to be the proper boyfriend. He could be anything. And people love him because he's he's unorthodox. And I like the fact, sorry guys, I like the fact that he is. But the point of this video, like I said, guys, I get why he doesn't want to be in the WWE. I get why. And Enzo and Cass are going to be there. Enzo and Cass, who knows? We might, if Drew gets fed up, we might see Drew. He might become Drew Galloway again. He might be. But like I said, I'm just saying the obvious, guys, because if Drew becomes another, because Drew, and this is what I mean, right? And this is where I think WWE's got to ask the question, like, what the heck is going on with their talent? Because SmackDown does great show, and it's not boring. It's never boring. It's just that because we've kind of been on this tear, though, because Alexa Bliss is back on SmackDown, she's not on Raw. She can't be, because Raw gets beat every time because they're not defending, because Brock isn't there. So when Brock was there, the ratings went down to crap because SmackDown kind of took that and just said, listen, we're just going to make Kofi a champion. We're not going to make him drop the belt because we want him to see if we can get him to drop it to freaking to Dolph. But Dolph doesn't need to be World Heavyweight WWE champion. He's already been WWE champion with World Heavyweight. And that doesn't really prove anything. But like I said, guys, I hope you guys like this video. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about Jon Moxley and how he's different, like how he's changed. This is like a metamorphosis. But anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe, peace.